Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning meeting on the day of the release of My Life as a Showgirl. That's in quotes. It's not actually my life as a showgirl. It's Taylor's life, and we'll be devoting most of now. We're going to talk about the shutdown. Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, a fabulous political analyst, will join us, and we'll pepper him with questions. And
he's not a Swiftie
we did.
analyst.
He
That's
might
not
be.
why he's...
We didn't tell him this, but there's a new negative ad running in his district against him, and we're going to give the congressman a chance to annotate it with what we call political science mystery theater. So stay tuned for that in just a moment. Not much else going on except for the shutdown, but we'll talk a little bit about the president's deciding that once again, Congress is not a co-equal branch and he can declare whatever war he wants without hesitation or co-equal branch checking. What do you call that? Balance, separation of powers. Pete Hegseth, Peggy Noonan has written a seminal column about the Secretary of War. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, it's Friday, and this show is nothing if not a stickler for tradition. So we'll have our winners, losers of the week, and what to look for this weekend. And Dan, what I can't help but look at now is that beautiful quarter zip that you're wearing. Tell folks about it.
No, it is bottle green, very, very in for fall here with foliage starting, and super comfortable. Had it on all morning. It's cool up here in New York.
What does it say on the sleeve, Dan?
It says no smack in the chat.
Yeah.
That goes for our house, the show, anywhere.
Mine says conversation like another. Sean, do you feel bad for our community that they can't own stuff like this? If they watch us wear it and they're like, man, that's so nice. I'd love to be part of the two-way family and get that stuff. Do you feel bad for them?
I don't, Mark, because I've got great news. Everybody can be part of the Fairway family. Today is Fairway Friday, Mark. That means if you want to join us by wearing one of these beautiful polos, quarter zips, or so many of the fine products available at Fairway and Green, all you need to do is go to two-way.tv/fairway and enter the promo code 2way20. And Mark, guess what? That gives you 20% off all items on the Fairway and Green site. That means Two-Way, the morning meeting, or any of the other exceptional products. And as we hit fall and head towards those holidays, nothing says I love you like a Fairway and Green product.
All right. If you missed Two-Way tonight, last night, we tried to be forward-looking here, but we had Mark Caputo and Rachel Bate on. My dad made a cameo to explain how reconciliation, the history of the reconciliation process. And then, because we have zero credibility with you, but the fellow members of the community do. Here's a guy who just came on last night sporting some Fairway and Green merch. And here's what he says about the quality of the Fairway and Green two-way morning meeting items. Yes, sir.
I really enjoyed this pullover, by the way.
Oh my goodness! Which one did you get? Oh, that's it. I love that one. And Mike, have you owned any Fairway and Green clothes before now?
I have not, but I will though.
Just tell everybody how high quality it is.
It is extremely high quality. I'm a fan for life. I'm going to buy more.
Yeah, all right. Don't believe us. Believe
look
Mike.
Look at Caputo sitting there.
I know.
I know he works out, but he needs a new polo for goodness' sake.
Go to Fairway. Go to two-way.tv/fairway. You'll see how to access the full list of products you can buy. All right. Congressman Lawler is here in just a moment. The president's attending a swearing-in ceremony for the U.S. ambassador to Sweden at 11:30, and that's it for now. Caroline Levitt briefs at 1.
Oh, wait. Come on. Who's the ambassador?
Who is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Christine Toretti.
Oh, yeah.
Former RNC committee woman from Pennsylvania, previously nominated to be ambassador to Malta.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Anyway, it's closed press, but
very different.
But we'll see. The president stayed off camera a lot of the week. He's done a couple interviews. He's done a few photo ops, but he's not been out every day. We'll see. House is out still. Mike Johnson and Thune hold a press conference at 11. Senate Democrats are having lunch, and then they're going to vote again, they say, and the House, the Republican version will be filibustered, and there won't be 60 votes for the Democratic version, and then it's possible Thune and Schumer will talk and have a massive breakthrough, but no one's expecting that. Everybody's expecting them to take the weekend off, no votes, and to come back Monday and see where things stand.
By the way, I noticed on the TV, on the schedule for the Sunday shows, there are a lot of House Democrats. There is not a single Senate Democrat right now.
Yep, I noticed that too. Thank you for mentioning that. But there are some pretty big Republicans. And here with us now,
it's almost a morning meeting shirt.
Yeah. One of the best political analysts we know also happens to be a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Congressman Lawler. Mike Lawler, welcome. Thank you for coming back.
Well, thanks for having me, Mark. I hope you and Sean enjoyed the Yankees-Red Sox game last night. I did.
Okay, thanks for being with us.
Not one bit. It's all the time we have. No, didn't enjoy it a bit. Although the kid who struck out 12 Red Sox is from the Boston suburbs, so I consider that a moral victory.
He got smart and became a Yankee.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
It's good. I'm focused now. I'm just rooting against the Yankees the rest of the way. Congressman.
Before I ever got into politics, I was a vendor at Yankee Stadium. So
seriously,
did you sell one thing over and over or different stuff?
It would change day to day, but because it was seniority based, I would never get beer. So it was hot dogs, Cracker Jacks.
Did you go up and down?
What is the hierarchy? What is the hierarchy?
Yeah, what is the hierarchy?
A lot of those guys have been there 30, 40
I know, but what if people don't want beer? What do they want? Yeah, what do you want to sell?
If you don't have beer, probably hot dogs.
Yeah. Are people big tippers at Yankee Stadium if you sell them a hot dog?
It was all based on the price. It's all based on the pricing. So if the hot dog is $4.50, you generally get the 50 cents.
There's a guy at Dodger Stadium who throws the peanuts with startling accuracy. Is that something other people do, or is it just that one guy? You know what I'm talking about?
No. Some people are pretty good at it. And
was that in the Lawler arsenal, or were you passing it down the aisle?
There's a reason I'm in politics and not shortstop for the Yankees.
Have you been at Dodger Stadium and seen that guy? You know what I'm talking about?
I've not been to Dodger Stadium, but I know who you're talking about.
This guy, I'm sure it's on YouTube. This guy's incredible. He will throw peanuts like a whole section over. Yeah. And he also throws it with like a softness. So it's like, it's not whacking you. It's like the nestles right in your hands.
It lands right in your hands.
All in the angle.
Congressman, we all have a lot of questions for you. I'll start. When's the shutdown ending?
It's entirely dependent on Chuck Schumer. This is the Schumer shutdown. It was entirely avoidable. And unfortunately, he's so petrified of AOC in his left flank that he has allowed this to happen. But look, I think by next week this will come to an end. I suspect we'll be back on Monday. I suspect today's vote in the Senate, maybe they'll pick up somebody, maybe not. Maybe they'll just keep the three that they had from the Democratic side voting with the Republicans. But I suspect this will head into next week, and at some point it's going to have to come to an end because you're going to run out of funding for WIC. I think layoffs are going to start coming, and I think the pressure is going to mount on Schumer and the Democrats.
The Wall Street Journal says that there's some people in the White House who are feeling pressure on health care and on the shutdown generally. Do you have a sense that the White House feels any pressure, or they're happy to let this go as long as it might?
Look, I think if you look at, folks like me, I've already signed on to legislation to extend the ACA subsidy, which was put in place during COVID, by a year. I'm open to a negotiation on that. I think many of my colleagues are. Senator Thune has said he is. So, at the end of the day, open up the government. Let's get back to work, finalize fiscal year 26 approach, negotiate on the ACA subsidy. But some of the other things that they're demanding are just never going to happen. So to me, this is wasted time and effort. I think the White House, has the upper hand here. And again, Democrats have been on the record for years about the need to keep the government open and funded, to not hold the American people hostage, to not pound your fist on the table and demand your way, and to pass clean CRs. And so now they have entirely changed their position, and it's not going to go well. I have been very consistent in this.
No matter the struggle,
CRs
from living
Joe
without
Biden was
insurance,
president, and I've supported them with Donald Trump as president, because shutting down the government is stupid. It doesn't actually do anything.
One more for me, then I'll turn you over to Dan and Sean. Probably Dan first, since Dan's a Democrat. Have you seen this new negative ad that's ostensibly running in your district?
I did. Yeah.
Is the lady in the ad an actress or an actual constituent of yours? Do you know?
I don't know.
I always assume actor. And I'm usually right.
Or actress.
Or actress. Actress sometimes is used generically for both genders.
Usually in these super PAC ads, they tend to be
Yeah.
accurate.
So here's what I want to do. It's 30 seconds. Play it, and we call it mystery political science theater. You just annotate it. Your audio will be up. Just say that's a lie. Whatever you want to say. Just
Got it.
And if you say and if she says something true, you say good point. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go, Congressman. You've never seen this, ladies and gentlemen. You've never seen this. A congressman rebutting a negative ad in real time. Here we go. Roll it.
We need to get him a
My son
telestrator.
Gabriel is 35. He has autism and mental health challenges. Medicaid is my son's lifeline. Congressman
And it will
Lawler
still be
promised
protected
us
for
he
him.
wouldn't cut Medicaid. Then he voted for the cuts anyway, so billionaires could get even more tax breaks.
The average
Now
New
Mike
Yorker will
Lawler
get
wants to make
$4,000
health care
tax cuts.
even more expensive, and he shut down the government instead of lowering costs. Call Mike Lawler, tell him to stop raising health care costs and end the government shutdown.
So I voted.
Go ahead.
I voted to keep the government open, along with nearly every member of the Republican conference. Only one Democrat joined us, Jared Golden of Maine. Every other Democrat voted to shut the government down nearly 2 weeks ago. In fact, actually 2 weeks ago today, when we passed the CR through the House. In terms of Medicaid, I was very clear from the start that I would not take away benefits from those who were eligible, and that we would protect the program for the disabled, including those who have autism, that we would ensure that illegal immigrants are not getting Medicaid benefits. In New York, Kathy Hochul came and testified before Congress over the summer, and I asked her point blank, did you expand Medicaid to allow illegal immigrants access to taxpayer-funded health benefits? And she said yes.
Yeah.
And what Democrats... What Democrats are saying when they're saying now that they're not trying to do that, number one, every single Democrat running for president in 2020 raised their hand and said that they support giving illegals health care benefits in the United States. Number two, we put a provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill that would require citizenship verification and allow for lawful permanent residence as well. The Democrats in their CR that they put forth would reverse that. They would undo that. Number two. Number three, they're trying to hem and haw. Emergency Medicaid has been used in perpetuity to provide health benefits and coverage for illegals in the emergency rooms. In California and New York, it is exponentially greater than the rest of the country because of what California and New York have done in terms of allowing access for illegal immigrants to Medicaid. So this whole notion that my Democratic colleagues have put forth that they're not doing that is absolutely ludicrous and laughable on its face. But to the main thrust of the point that this ad says, number one, anybody with autism or a disability is not losing their Medicaid. Number two, I was very clear about what I would support and why, and I did in the bill. And number three, I voted to keep the government open and funded.
It's not the first false negative ad run against Mike Lawler, and he still has a seat. Dan.
Congressman, sometimes these shutdowns really resonate at home and sometimes they don't. Are you hearing from constituents, or so far are they not really feeling and paying much attention to this?
I think they're just disgusted by the whole episode. It's unnecessary. I think most people know that I voted to keep the government open and that I've always been consistent in that, regardless of who the president is, whether it's Biden or Trump, during my time in office. So I haven't heard, a lot about it in terms of, the response or anger. I think most people are just waiting for the show to be over and for the government to get back open.
Sean.
I have three things. I'll just ask them all at once. And then you can, to Dan's point, President Trump's talked about canceling that New York and New Jersey tunnel. Is that resonating at all? Two, there's thought that Kirsten Gillibrand may be one to fold. Do you sense that that's true or not? And then three, how unified do you think the conference is?
Great questions. I came out against the proposed cuts to Gateway and the Second Avenue tunnel, as well as the Homeland Security grant cuts to New York. I've been working with the White House and OMB to reverse that.
But I guess the question might be, do people,
No, but people are definitely aware of it, and people are raising it as concern. I've spoken to my locals. my sheriffs, my police departments, obviously a bunch of labor is concerned about the infrastructure cuts. So I've been fielding a lot of calls on that and working with the White House and the administration to push back on that.
Is conference
Secondarily,
unified?
conference is very unified. I don't see the conference moving at all. Nobody's willing to negotiate with the Freedom Caucus when they do this, let alone the Democrats. So I don't see anybody budging on this. It's going to be a clean CR. And the other one, Sean?
I just said there's some belief that Gillibrand may
Oh,
be.
Gillibrand, sorry.
Is there any thought does that have any resonance?
Look, I think Kirsten at times is been a little bit more bipartisan than some of her colleagues and is willing to work to get things done. I'm not sure where she is on this, though. I mean, she's the chair of the DSCC, so she's got to kind of toe the party line in some respect. And if Schumer isn't there, I'm not sure that she's going to budge. So we'll see. I would hope Kirsten would open up the government because this is really foolish. And she's always supported clean CRs in the past. But we'll see. I think she's kind of in a little bit of a predicament too, given some of the changes in New York with Zohran Mamdani and AOC and others.
Yeah. All right. Before you go, Carson, great team here found some video of you from your days at Yankee Stadium as a vendor. So here it is. This is Mike Lawler, Yankee Stadium, 201, please.
Oh, this is the guy from Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Behind the back.
Yeah.
That's legit.
I saw him throw.
Those are good seats, by the way.
Really, I saw him throw really far. Congressman, thank you for joining. Please come back regularly and keep us posted on the show.
Before you go, if you had to look in a crystal ball, when is this over in your mind?
I would say by middle of next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say deal Tuesday, consummated Wednesday.
Yeah, Mark, I just want to end with one thing.
Yes, sir.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Yeah. I'm sorry we shut. Thank you, Congressman. Great to see you come back regularly.
Those who don't know, that would be Michael Kay, Yankees radio for many years.
Thank you, Congressman. Grateful to you. All right. Reminder, if you want to get in on the conversation.
So good till then. So good till then.
If you want to, yes, you ruined the whole thing. Don't have him back. If you want to get in on the conversation, you're here on the two-way platform. Please raise your hand. If you're watching on X or YouTube, we're happy to have you here. We'd like you to show, as Congressman Lawler always does, peace, love, and understanding towards all, presumption of grace towards all. And Dan, what's our policy on smack in the chat?
Don't do it. No smack in the chat.
Oppose. We oppose smack in the chat.
Nay.
All right, I got a few more elements. We have a few more elements. Go ahead.
Are we going to move on before we move on to shutdown? I just want to make one point.
No. I got some shutdown elements to show. Okay. The Congressman's appearance here scuttled the normal schedule. Got to remind everybody, this program is sponsored by the good folks at Take Lean. Fad diets are out. What's in for some people are those injectables, the GLP-1 injectables. But trust me, that's not for everybody, to say the least. Oral supplement Lean, created by doctors, is not an injectable, and it's something that will help you maintain healthy blood sugar, control your appetite and cravings, and burn fat by converting it to energy. You can get a discount now. Go to takelean.com. Use the promo code MARK for 20% off. This is going to allow you to control all those things in a way that will keep you from doing the last thing in the world you should do, which is weight cycling. Lose weight in a medically guided way, slowly, steadily, rather than gaining and losing weight with a fad diet. So again, try the products now. Takelean.com. Use the promo code MARK to get 20% off your entire order. All right, as I said, a few more things we want to show you. This is Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know what record he's trying to set, but I believe the most cable news hits in a 5-day period. I think he's shattered the record. Here he is this morning on Morning Joe again. He's like taking Lemire's job. He's just on every day.
Our position is cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care. And that has to be done at this moment in time in the context of this unprecedented Republican assault on the health care of the American people. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history, triggering a possible $536 billion cut to Medicare at the end of this year if Congress doesn't act because of what Republicans did in their one big ugly bill. We know that hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics all across the country, including in rural America, are closing down right now because of the Republican assault on the health care of everyday Americans, and they refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which is going to result in more than 20 million Americans receiving notices, many that have already gone out, indicating that their health care premiums, copays, and deductibles are about to skyrocket. And we already live in a high cost of living environment. America's too expensive. Donald Trump hasn't lowered costs on day one, which he promised. They're making life more expensive. That's why this has to be dealt with, as Dr. King once observed, with the fierce urgency of now.
So,
all right. First of all, Dan, it was not Michael Caine, it's John Sterling. I know you know.
Oh, sorry.
I know you know that. Okay. Healthcare. The Democrats pollsters tell them Republicans are vulnerable on healthcare. The president's pollster, Mr. Fabrizio, tells the Republicans our party's vulnerable on healthcare. That's why the Democrats are trying to make this fight about healthcare, and it's why they think they have some leverage to get a negotiation. And it's why what's her name? Kim Strassel's Wall Street Journal column, which I recommend if you haven't read it, is all about how the Republican Party, if they negotiate on this stuff, is basically validating once again the Affordable Care Act, and they need a policy on healthcare. So here's my question, because again, nothing's going to happen today except another vote, and then we go into next week. Dan, what is your party's position on healthcare?
Well,
not right now, in general. What do you support? Do you support the current law? Do you support expansion, single payer? What is the Democratic Party position on federal health care policy?
Well, I think there's two parts to that, which is right now it's defensive. It is protect the gains the party feels they made in the last 15 years. I think going into 2028, that is going to be a huge issue, which is I think you will have people talking about nationalizing healthcare. I think, and we actually talked about this on the group chat yesterday, and Amber Duke made this point. This is where the kind of really populist wing of the MAGA movement and the Democratic Party, potentially you can see a synergy, which is if we're making all these investments in the working class and we are talking about people not going to college and becoming a plumber and an electrician and all of these kind of skilled working class jobs, the absence of healthcare for a lot of those is a huge issue. And I think Trump knows this, and it's why he's flirted with the idea of we need to own healthcare. But then, of course, there's the actual details of it. So I think going forward, it's going to be a big debate in our party. I suspect it may even be a little bit of a big debate in the Republican Party. But right now, in the immediate, it's defensive.
Sean, that Kim Strassel piece, just extremely powerful. And Joe, what's the name of the guy on Squawk Box? Joe Kernan. Joe Kernan was, because he has a good feel for this stuff. He was talking about it this morning. What is your party's position on healthcare? Is there one?
There isn't. I don't think there is a position on healthcare. I think in general, principally, we'd like more market-driven forces. But I don't. I mean, that's been the problem.
But you have unified control now.
I know we had unified control in 2016, and we didn't do anything.
I think this is one of those issues that, and this is where Democrats can try to split the Republican Party, is the MAGA wing and the old Bush wing. Like, that's the schism. Because to your point, Sean, of like the free market, I don't think you guys believe in free markets at all anymore, right? The Trump wing is not about that at all. So now you have a problem of the biggest issue for a lot of Americans. Trump's instinct is, how can we help you?
Well, I think this is the problem, right? I mean, and again, we could do an entire show on this. Fundamentally, healthcare is so broken and wrong and misguided. I mean, and I think probably to your point, Dan, we all can agree on. I mean, it is just, you can't see a primary care physician, what we cover, what we don't. It's employer driven. It's so horribly set up. Okay. So to your question, Mark, I mean, what I believe we should do with healthcare there is no consensus. And this is literally the problem we had when we came in the first Trump administration. Everyone goes, we need to undo Obamacare. And then we all looked at each other and said, and then what? And there was no unified plan. There's no consistent thought of where we are as a party. except to admit that we don't like the current system. It's too right. And so that's the problem. And I think that's what's going to beguile us right now is that we're going to say we're not going to support these ACA things, but we've got nothing to replace it with. There's not, I mean, so this is the fundamental problem right now, and where we really need some leadership and some thought put into it.
All right, you're both of you, just whatever closing remarks you want to make on shutdown, then we'll cover just lickety split a couple more topics, winners and losers, look for this weekend, and then we'll get to everybody's questions. Sean.
So right now the plan is for the Senate to vote later this afternoon. Likely it'll fail again. And then they're going home for the weekend. I will say this to every Senate Republican. TSA is working without pay, Border Patrol is working without pay, active duty military is working without pay, and military reservists can't even work. They cannot drill under current law, right? You, members of the United States Congress, House and Senate, are by law being paid. Do your damn job. Stay and vote over and over. The idea that Senate Republicans are going home is disgusting. Stay, show leadership, vote.
Well, by the way, they're not all going home. There's 20 of them going to Sea Island, Georgia for an NRFC retreat this weekend.
Let's hope.
Okay.
Let's hope.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Dan.
Let's hope
As
some
is our
DNC
party. We're not clean on this. Everyone's going to raise money this
weekend. Let's hope some DNC tracker is working as a waiter at Sea Island and has like a
I don't
GoPro.
think you're going to need that.
Yeah. I mean, the lobbyists will be posting photos on Instagram.
Dan, and anything else you want to say about the shutdown?
I actually think going home, I'll be very, and that's why I asked Congressman Lawler. When I've talked to Democrats, including last night, some chief of staffs, nobody's hearing from home that end this right now.
Yeah,
so I think
very little.
What Democrats are hearing is the interest groups are lighting up the phones saying, don't cave, don't cave, don't cave. So I think if they go home, and to Sean's point, if trash is starting to not be picked up, if the TSA lines start getting a little longer, then I think Democrats will feel the pressure and this could end in 48 hours. But as of now, no Democrat feels pressure other than we know we will start to feel pressure soon.
Yeah. And there's some Senate Democrats who are saying the Trump vote show of cuts and threatened cuts is making them dig in. It's not making them back down. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the White House, in terms of optics, is playing this beautifully. They've trolled the Democrats really well. They've made the point. They're putting out all sorts of stuff. They actually are working with interest groups across the aisle. There's a story out in Axios today about how they're working with the Teamsters and other groups. You got to give the White House a lot of credit for how they've messaged this. Now Senate Republicans need to do their job, though, and actually show up and stay down, because the idea of to your point, whether it's tracker or just nothing happening is really sad and pathetic. I mean, I don't know who thinks this is a good idea. But
fundraisers.
All right, two yes, no questions for each of you, and then winners and losers. Wall Street Journal, New York Times reporting, and others matching it that the president's basically saying we're at war with drug traffickers. Try to stop me. I don't need a declaration of war from Congress. Yes or no? Will this event? Because some members of the Republican Party and Democratic Party are concerned about the justification the president's using for killing civilians using the military. Will this mark any sort of change in Congress's decades-long failure to stand up for its war powers making responsibility? Will this cause change or no? Dan, yes or no?
No.
Sean?
No.
The correct answer was no effing way. No effing way. All right. Lastly, Peggy Noonan-Calm on Pete Hegseth follows some other reporting and writing, including my own, about just how he's viewed. Headline from the Wall Street Journal, Peggy's calm, the embarrassing Pete Hegseth. The Pentagon needs sober, judicious leadership, not a drama queen who makes things jarring and fevered. Will Pete Hegseth be Secretary of Defense on Christmas Day? Sorry, Secretary of War on Christmas Day. Sean?
Yeah, whatever the opposite of what you just said, yes, 100% effing way.
100% yes. Dan?
By the end of the calendar year, no. I think he'll leave sometime between Christmas and New Year's, potentially.
Wubba. If I'd said New Year's, you would say gone, but you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're not going to humiliate him. So I think when he leaves, it's going to be kind of trying to hope the tree, doesn't. People don't hear it too much.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a joke. I mean, it's an embarrassment at this point.
I don't think you guys fully appreciate that the president, from everything I know, really appreciates Pete's leadership.
Yeah.
So the idea of when you say they, I don't know who they are, because the only one that would be able to fire him would be the president, who seems
He's not going to fire him. I think they'll show it'll be coordinated and it won't look like he was fired.
Okay. Is the inspector general report still pending on the signal thing?
Are there inspector general? I think fired them all. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I don't think there are.
They hired new ones. All right, here we go. Hands up, winners, losers, what to look for, and then your questions, please. If you've never raised your hand, today would be a good day. And if you want to hear more about Dan's wardrobe, you're welcome to ask about that. Sure. Dan, winner of the week.
My winner is AOC. I think that video just reminded people that she's a great communicator. She's having fun doing it. She gets the modern world, and that guy next to her, Bernie Sanders, is still the most popular Democrat in the party. She's a serious force going forward.
Sean, winner of the week.
I will just say, Dan, I will give you, I don't agree with everything for a lot of policies, but I will agree with you. I think she's had probably a great week, and a lot of it probably has to do with the lack of leadership from the other folks. But yeah, I will admit.
So great. She's your winner too, or no?
No. I know we had some comments about the Pope earlier this week, so I will give him some credit. He said that he's going to ask all of us to pray the rosary every day in October. I think that's something that, especially in light of Charlie, that we can all find some way to re-examine our faith and our relationship with God. So I will join Pope Francis in this call to pray the rosary every day in October.
All right, my winner of the week. It's actually a scientific tie, an exact tie. Taylor Swift fans and Vice President J.D. Vance. His role in messaging on the shutdown once again shows it is going to be very difficult, despite others whose opinions I respect saying there'll be a contested fight for the nomination. I believe that he is going to be endorsed by Donald Trump and win the nomination by consensus. And this week showed both how firm his hold is on the whole thing and why, because he's stepping into the exact role that the party wants him to play. Dan, loser of the week.
Well, we just talked about it. My loser of the week is Pete Hegseth. Whether or not he remains in and Donald Trump loves him, I think history is going to be scathing.
Sean.
All right. I obviously don't share that. Look, there was stiff competition this week. The FDA had some really horrible actions in the last couple of days on the abortion drug. So I will say that we had some stiff competition between that, Democrat social media. But this was a tie for me, Mark. And I've never done a tie before, but I think Maxwell House is rebranding, and it's not a joke. They're calling themselves Maxwell Apartment. I mean, honest to God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because more people are living in apartments now, so they're rebranding themselves. But that also was also a tie with my next.
You fell for that hoax?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe it. It's silly.
Okay.
Is
it really, or is that a joke?
No, but it's dumb.
Okay, got it.
But I mean, that's my point, is the marketing joke. But my next one is real, which is Netflix. I mean, these guys, I cannot believe that Netflix doubled down on woke, and they're paying the price for it in their stock price this week. It just shows that not all of Hollywood got the message.
Yeah, mine is Schumer and Jeffries. Never in my career have I seen two leaders so dismissed, not just by the media, which normally loves Democrats, but privately by Democratic members of the House and Senate. They're really people are just rolling their eyes and throwing their hands up and saying, there's nothing we can do. We're not going to depose them now, but they are not leading us in the view of Democrats. They're not leading through this confrontation. I've never seen two leaders, the senior Democrats in both chambers or Republicans. I've never seen attitude like this.
Mark, I think one of the interesting things is going to be whether the conversation really does start in earnest after this about when Schumer is going to be gone. And I think the question of, this was always the issue with Pelosi, if not her, then who?
Right.
But there are people around, and I am going to be very curious about Jeffrey's leadership team, because you look around there and do they keep hugging him and saying we're all one team?
Yep.
Or does the caucus start to kind of filter apart?
Sorry to interrupt. Jump over to Fox News, please.
Oh, Mike Johnson.
for illegals in the Democratic CR. They said no. What do you say?
Well, welcome to day 3 of the Democrat shutdown. You've got Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats have now voted 3 times to reject the clean, simple, continuing resolution that we passed out of the House 2 weeks ago to keep the government operating for the people. Real pain for real Americans. And they're claiming breathlessly, Dana, that they're not trying to restore free taxpayer-funded benefits and health care to illegal aliens, and it's simply not true. I would direct everybody right now, go to speaker.gov, okay? That's my official website. We put right there on the first page the evidence. I have the receipts, okay, as Bill said earlier. Chuck Schumer filed a counter proposal, a counter continuing resolution when they voted ours down. And what is in that? If you go there on the page, you'll see, go to page 57, it's buried in their document. But it says in that section 2141, right there, Chuck Schumer filed it. It says they want to repeal the health provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut that we Republicans passed earlier this year and that President Trump signed into law on July 4th. Now, why is that so important? Because, Dana, that's where you'll find they want to add back in almost $200 billion of taxpayer funds to give free stuff to illegal aliens. 100% in writing, not a Republican talking point. It's Chuck Schumer's own document.
Wow. Okay, so you've got that. And you've got a few moderate Democrats in the Senate who may crack. We'll see when this vote goes down, and they may stay strong. Jean Shaheen is one of them, and she came on Fox yesterday and was talking about, well, there are a lot of people in districts where President Trump won who could be in peril if these health care subsidies lapse. Here's what you said. Here's her argument right now.
Health insurance companies right now this month are setting those rates. So we need to get together. We need to address this. This is an issue that affects both Democrats and Republicans. You know, over 70% of people who are getting those health insurance subsidies are in states that President Trump won. 56% of them are in Republican districts.
That would seem to be pretty overwhelming, and I'm sure you're aware of this, and I imagine a lot of those folks live in Louisiana. What would you say to that?
Yeah, Bill, we're all aware of this. It's a total red herring. The Democrats have grasped onto a December policy issue. What she's referring to there doesn't expire until December 31st. We have 3 months in Congress to work through that issue. It has nothing to do with the September stopgap funding measure that will merely
we can
keep
jump out
the
of this.
government open for the people. So
We'll monitor it,
and
see what he
Democrats
says. Dan, what are you looking for this weekend?
I'm looking at Senate Democrats to see, but we just talked about this a minute ago, whether or not they start to feel a little bit of pressure, because like you, Mark, I think Tuesday of next week is when I expect this to start moving.
In this counter proposal, they want us to
kill that. Okay, Sean.
I'm looking for Navy to go 5-0. They're playing Air Force tomorrow at noon. And I've also got an exclusive interview with Kamala Harris tomorrow on her book that's dropping midday on YouTube. So I know that's going to be a shocker, but it's
by the way, the report of Harris talking to Schumer about the shutdown. I mean, what?
Yeah, I'll be looking to see which of you are talented enough to watch baseball and listen to the Taylor Swift album at the same time.
Oh my God!
It requires iPod coordination.
Melinda, multiple screens.
Yes, multiple screens. Melinda, welcome in. Thank you for being part of Two-Way. Tell folks where you are and what's on your mind for Sean and Dan.
Longboat Key, Florida.
Yeah.
And
nice place.
It's nice. It's a nice place to live. I'm very lucky. And I consider myself an independent. I voted twice for Obama and 3 times for Trump. So, and I like to call myself an independent because otherwise people won't talk to you on either side of the equation, right? So I have this idea about Trump's, so I'm doing a kind of a lane change in what we've been talking about on Trump's comic side, that this whole business with the sombrero and the mustache is really a takeoff on when they were calling him Taco. And he's been simmering that taco thing for, months now. And this is his way of getting back. Like, now you calling me chicken? Now who's playing chicken with them? So I just like that. That's kind of a funny thing that I think is going on with him.
Yeah.
I did write one of the questions for your poll that you did a number of months ago. Wonder when you're going to be doing another poll. It was kind of hard. I did that one about how many of your friends vote differently than you do.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you for that.
And I kind of like to see some polls again because I found those really interesting, except they got so detailed. It was hard to really decipher where the answers were and where they came from. So if they could make it a little more simple, that would be great.
All right. We'll tell our friend David Burrell we want another poll and we want it simpler, and Melinda says so.
And then at the end is earlier this week, you had a gal on, I think her name was Karen, and she was talking about how there are those of us that are willing to go down some bumpy roads to get the country back on track. And I think that this plays to the middle and it plays to the right and to the left, that we're willing to do some things. And why don't politicians believe that we can hear the truth, that we know that this ship to get it righted is not going to take 60 seconds, 60 minutes, like an episodic TV show. Like, how do we let y'all know that we are in for the fight because we were going the wrong direction and we want to see it turn around?
Great question, Melinda. Really good. Sean.
I think the funniest part about this is when people ask me about how do I be more like Donald Trump, I'm like, what Donald Trump is just raw and authentic, and he is who he is. And then everyone goes, that's great. So like, it's almost like they can't get the message through. And this is, I think this is what I'm getting out of your question, which is like, why can't they just be themselves? And every time you talk to one of these guys, it feels like there's a switch that goes on, and it's just like, the CR section 427 will mandate that OMB reverts back to, and you're like, okay, like, I agree with you. I think so many of these guys could do themselves just a ton of benefit if they actually spoke a little bit more real and clear and not tried to tie themselves in knots.
We happen to have Karen right here.
There she is.
Karen, have you gotten a lot of feedback from your appearance?
How's your campaign?
Well, it's funny because I kind of like, for a normal person, I went viral a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was kind of, my husband was at work and I got a text like, what the hell, you're on my Twitter feed. So that was pretty fun. I would say the feedback I got was exactly what Melinda is saying. I was talking to, I was showing my parents, who I've really never talked about it with, my in-laws. And they were like, that's how I feel. Why doesn't anybody, just like Melinda is saying, kind of the same thing.
I think there's 70% of us in the middle that feel this way.
Yeah.
And it's either both ends are so loud that the 70%, that's the silent majority, doesn't get heard.
Melinda, are you married with kids?
Married, no children. I have 2 dogs, though. Does that count?
I think one of the things that I have found over the last several years, and it's kind of through COVID and coming out, is that people didn't feel like they could speak out, right? And one of the things, I remember there was a case in Northern Virginia of a woman who worked at Verizon, and privately she was telling people certain things that she felt, and somebody started to call Verizon HR and say, this woman works for you, she's a threat to our community because she believes she's spreading conspiracy theories. And the woman had action taken against her, none of which had happened at her work, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is that for so long, people have felt like, I can't say anything. And I think what's happened over the last 12 to 20 months is that there's been a feeling that I can say things finally. I can speak out. And there's an ability to feel like I'm not going to lose stuff. And we talked about this months ago, but the idea of walking safely down a street in DC with a MAGA hat was like a death sentence. And now they literally sell the MAGA hats at the vendors on the corner. It's so there's been an entire culture and society shift that has allowed people on the right to openly express themselves that hasn't been the case for many years.
Karen, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think this is always an issue of how long is the silent majority willing to give the leader time to make the change. I mean, this every president, I agree with you that the two wings scream, well, January 21st, you didn't fix everything. So that's it. You're full of it. Like you should be gone. And most Americans say, no. I'll give you a period of time. The issue is once there's a break, it's really hard to regain it. And so I think, for Joe Biden, I think the withdrawal from Afghanistan started this idea of you're incompetent and you don't really, you had run on experience, et cetera. And it was so vivid and jarring to so many people that if you look at his numbers, they just never recovered. Like they went down and certain groups left and then you had inflation. So to your point, I think most Americans are willing to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. Most Americans are rooting for him to be successful because that means we are successful as a country. You as a citizen will be better for it. The question is just at what point, right? Like the talk about bailing out farmers. Farmers are getting frustrated, really frustrated in parts of this country, and they know it. So they're like, how can we get them $15 billion to try to satisfy them?
Yeah, Karen,
that's the challenge.
Karen, you know that one of the greatest political consultants alive today, Dave Carney, lives in New Hampshire. I don't know if you know that or not, but I think we should all get together with Dave, and I'm shifting my focus to having you run for Senate to running for governor. 2-year term. It's a 2-year term.
That's better. I can stay in New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly. Got to spend some time in Concord, but whatever.
That's much more viable. I'm right near Concord. That's much more viable.
Melinda, just a quick survey. Would you be willing to donate to a super PAC to help Karen get elected governor?
Absolutely.
And would you come up and volunteer door knock for her?
Well, that might be a stretch.
Okay.
I don't know if I would door knock, so don't worry.
My heart would be with her.
That's a long way from
Karen, are there flights from the Manchester airport to Florida? I think there are, right?
Oh, yeah. Have to be.
Yeah. Melinda, it's very easy. Just bring a book, read on the plane. Ladies, love having you both on. We'll be meeting with Dave Carney soon, and we just got to get the right slogan and get moving, Karen. But I'm very bullish on this. It's 2 years. It'll be over in a blink. And if you like it, you keep running.
When I watched the episode, I didn't know you were trying to get back in touch with me, like during the thing about that email.
Yeah. That's all right. That happens. Yeah, it happens. Thank you both. Come back regularly. Have a good weekend. Taylor Swift album, if you haven't listened to it yet, I recommend.
By the way, what do you guys make of Corey Lewandowski flirting with it? I assume that's just a complete power play. But
it's not real. Not real. Okay. All right. Here's Alex. And we haven't talked to Alex in a while. And Alex may want to run for something too. Alex, what do you want to run for?
I actually already ran a Board of Ed campaign back in 2021. So I did my
How'd that go?
You're in Greenwich? Is that where you are?
I'm in New Canaan.
New Canaan, yeah.
It's actually, it's very different.
I'm actually from Wilton, right in between the two. So
okay, we're more similar to Wilton. But yeah, so thank you for calling on me. I wanted to thank you for the Charlie Kirk episode yesterday. When my son was diagnosed with T1D, Charlie really helped me through that. So I'm grateful to him for helping me get back to my faith. And then when he was assassinated, I decided that I was going to read every book on his books to read list. And I just finished Age of Entitlement. And at the end of the book, it said, in a culture that has shamed people for 60 years, the only way out of that is to find someone who will be shameless. And it was the lead up to Trump 2015 election. And in 2015, Trump was the shameless person to lead us out of what had felt like 60 years of shame. And then in 2020 through 2022, it wasn't just 2020 through 2022, a lot of us, and I wrote a book about it, 50% of us decided we were done too. And we were going to be starting to be shameless too. And I guess my question to you is the disconnect here? Like, I love what Pete Hegseth said the other day, and I'm loving the memes. And I think the reason a lot of people say the left can't meme is that they were never shamed. The left wasn't the party that got shamed. It wasn't the people that got shamed. And so if you're not shameless, it's hard for you to kind of take on that character of the shameless, like the Trump trolling. And so my question is this actually what's happening? Is it we are finding shameless characters to lead us out of an era that 50% of the country felt shamed for 60 years?
Yep. Great question. Sean first.
I think the way you framed it was fantastic. It's sort of, if you haven't felt it, if you don't know what it's like, and again, as I've said before, this isn't something that started yesterday. For me, it goes back to 1993 when my college speaker was canceled because they didn't like a view that he had. I mean, this has been going on for decades. And so to suddenly see us back on top and willing to fight back and doing it well and funny and all this, it's like a team that you never thought would have a winning season suddenly being like, we're going to the World Series. Again, this is the wrong metaphor today of all days. But it's like, I feel like we're going to the World Series ideologically. And so you're right. Anyway, but hey, by the way, what's the makeup of the New Canaan? Is what is that, Republican or nonpartisan?
It's kind of funny. It's been a town run by Republicans for 60 years.
That's what I would have guessed. It's a very Greenwich.
I will say that I am part of the new right, and New Canaan is a stronghold of the old right, and there's major infighting there, and then also after COVID, every liberal that hated the policies they voted for in New York moved to Connecticut towns and are now turning us more purple than I'd like. So,
Dan, question or comment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because, you know, in the 70s with the Nixon silent majority, in the 80s with Ronald Reagan, even in the mid 2000s with George Bush after 9/11, like it was cool to be a Republican. Like it was not the cancel culture. Like, at least that's, you know, my perception in big parts of this country.
If you haven't read this book, it actually explains how the cultural power never actually manifested in those administrations on a cultural level. Like,
I know, I hear what you're saying, like Hollywood,
and college campus, and it's a fascinating
Alex,
book.
what's the book's name again?
The Age of Entitlement by Christopher Caldwell.
Yeah.
I think what is true, though, is, to your point, when you feel when one feels canceled and feels boxed in, you get very creative and you're very energetic, and one figures out a new way to do something, to compete, to be heard, to get into the marketplace. I think Republicans have done that incredibly well. We've been fat and lazy because we've had these institutions like the New York Times and traditional, you know, media that was so on our side. And Mark has talked about this a lot. The party still can't square the fact that those institutions, we don't control them as much anymore, and they're not as effective anymore. So what is the next iteration? And we will get desperate ourselves in the long run.
Yeah. Alex, thank you for listening to Next Up and for saying what you did. I'd love for you to explain to people what this episode consists of and what you found compelling about it.
In the Charlie Kirk one?
Yeah, the one that just dropped yesterday.
You know, for someone who's a mother of 2 young kids, I have been, I mean, I pull my hair out over the future that it looks like for our children.
Just explain who was on.
Oh, sorry. It was the youth of the Turning Point USA community.
Yeah. Three college students who are active in Turning Point.
That's right. And to hear them have a positive outlook for their lives, for their purpose, for a higher calling than themselves. I mean, the thing I struggle with a lot is seeing kids always be forced to turn inward, me. And these kids really were looking outward and towards a higher God, a higher meaning, faith. I mean, it was really inspiring, and I just loved it.
I appreciate that. It's an extended conversation with 3 college kids who are active in Turning Point, and as Alex said, they're lovely. You can totally disagree with their politics, with their point of view. That's fine. But if you want to see people who have taken a tragedy, an assassination of someone who really inspired them, 2 of them had met Charlie, and turned it into being forward-looking and inspirational. It's inspirational if you believe what they believe, but it's educational. If you are a Democrat who doesn't care at all about Charlie Kirk, watch it, because you'll learn what's going on in the other half of America. Here's just a quick soundbite from one of the young folks on. This is Theo Graybill goes to Kansas. Theo, what would you say to someone who said, "What's the big deal? Just one guy"?
Yeah, I think, again, to piggyback off the faith thing, like I said earlier in the beginning, you know, faith had been pushed on the down low. The schools preached this whole First Amendment separation of church and state, all this stuff. And Charlie went in and challenged that narrative and really brought faith back to the center of this country. That's what our country was built on. Regardless of what anyone says, our country was built and founded on the Christian faith. And we understood that our Constitution was fit for a moral society, but that an immoral society was going to struggle with this Constitution. And that's what we've largely seen, is an immoral society that struggles to love America in our Constitution. And Charlie really stood up for his faith and challenged that, but he did it for his country as well. So he brought those 2 things together. They're not separate.
I did the show for everybody, but I'm telling you, if you're not a believer in Charlie Kirk, if you're not someone who understands him, it's more for you. because it'll give you an understanding of why he was so influential from the president down to the grassroots. Alex, thank you for being on and for
thank you.
for
And
watching.
to be a shameless Republican, if
yeah.
Karen wants to buy my book, she will love it. So Karen, this is for you.
What's the drive time from your house to Manchester, New Hampshire, Alex? Is it like 3 hours?
Probably. Oh, I don't know. 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah.
All right. You're gonna be in.
Wait, so is your book available on Amazon?
It is. Yes. It's called "She Didn't Start the Fire."
Yeah,
okay.
by Alex Sullivan. Everybody buy that one too.
Not
Alex,
Billy Joel, but
thank you, Alex.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. Grateful to you. Thank you, Sean. What do you have on tonight?
I'll tell you what, Alex. By the way, can I ask you a personal question?
Hold on,
right?
Let her go. Yeah.
Well.
Oh,
yeah,
hold on.
Hold on. I'll bring her
hold
back.
On. We gotta. If we can, Mark. Alex, are you there?
She was.
Yes, I am.
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
again, without getting personal, is your husband large or medium?
He is 6'2" and I am 5'2".
Okay. Do me a favor. DM me. It's Fairway Friday. I'm sending him a Fairway in green.
Oh, cool. Okay. I will.
Okay. So you put that in the chat. I will send this to you. Thank you for sharing with us. This is I felt Fairway inspired today.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
So tonight, we're going full Maha. We're talking with Dr. Robert Malone. It should be a fascinating conversation about vaccines and other things that are going on in the Trump administration. And then tomorrow, as I said, my exclusive interview with Kamala Harris.
What's exclusive about it?
Everyone says that, so I just figured I could say it.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Dan, anything you want to share for tonight or the weekend?
Nope.
All right. 2:00 Eastern time today. This is an event just for the two-way community. Will not be on YouTube. David Bonson, the Bonson Group, and I will be talking about the tariffs, the economy. And you're welcome to ask David questions about macroeconomics, but also about personal investing. David runs the Bonson Group, which does wealth management and advice. So go to twoway.tv/TBG. You can sign up to join the event. Again, the only way to join it is to sign up at twoway.tv/TBG today, 2 Eastern. You can also sign up for David's newsletter, The Dividend Cafe. I read it daily. You should too. And then tonight, closing out the week, two-way tonight. Great guests. Sean's very close personal friend, Hogan Gidley, and Democratic consultant Ashley Etchen will join me, and we'll have all the day's news and Spidey sense plus a little reporting. I think we'll have some news to discuss at 6:00 that will have developed during the day, not related to the shutdown necessarily, but don't miss us at 6:00 if you want to be up on the
Was
news.
one of your questions earlier in the show related to what may happen later today?
How so?
Just
what was the question?
We were talking. Well, it would be too obvious if I said.
No, you can say. You can say. You can say.
It's not a personnel announcement.
I'll be poker faced. No, it's not a personnel announcement.
Is it about the color of Dan's pullover?
It's not. Although again, I'm so struck by that color, Dan. It's like a black, gray.
Yeah, I was not going with
green. I don't know if your camera's not adjusting.
Yeah.
In any event, we're very grateful to all of you for another wonderful week on this program, and we're happy to have you be part of the two-way community. Love to have a mix of old and new as always, and we'll be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and certainly by then there'll be a lot of shutdown news. And how many Yankee games are there between now and Monday?
Just the weekend.
Doesn't matter.
It starts tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, but Saturday, Sunday. So the Yankees could be down 2-0 to Toronto,
or they could be up 2-0.
Yeah, I will say
it's football season. Who cares?
I would say this system where all 3 games are in one stadium is
they had to make the regular season matter. That was the big thing that the owners and the players.
Let them have 2. They don't.
No. That's the idea. Like go earn it during the regular season.
All 3 is ridiculous. You might as well not play. How are they supposed to win 2 out of 3 on the road? It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Ridiculous. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. We'll see you at 6 as well. Good day.